Hey, so I was chatting with someone the other day about improving how they use Slack, and we got onto the topic of gardeners, which is a concept that we were using a little while ago at Red Academy. To basically, it's basically like having moderators, right? Um, whose job it is to go around and moderate stuff. Like on forums, you have moderators. You often have mods in Slack as well. But we settled on the term gardener because it kind of accurately describes what they need to do, right? The process of gardening is about like planting seeds, watching things grow slowly, gently bending plants onto bits of trellis until they grow in the direction that's best. But also like seeing what happens, right? It's not about like rigidly architecting plants. And I think the term gardening much better suits the kind of work that people need to do when they're moderating stuff like this. Um, so we were using Slack gardeners, and basically the job of a Slack gardener was being present on Slack, and it was accepted that it was a voluntary thing. It was accepted that part of their job, maybe a couple of hours a week, whatever, they would spend time on Slack helping everybody in the company get better at using Slack, answering questions, etc., etc. And it was a voluntary thing rather than being role based. Like anyone who was interested in helping people communicate better, learning more about Slack, or working to help people get better at using Slack could opt to become a Slack gardener. And when someone opted to be a Slack gardener, they got access to a private channel. They were expected to hang out in one of the public channels, and they also got access to an area on Notion. Got right access to this, which basically had a task board for like things to do to improve Slack. But the main stuff was really being like available on Slack and keeping an eye out for things that could be done a little bit better, and trying to intentionally nudge people in the right direction by sharing some videos and whatnot to help educate folks. Now, this needn't just apply to Slack. There's plenty of other things that businesses have which could do with gardening generally. Notion's a good example. If you use that for your knowledge base and kind of how the company's set up, it's a great idea to have some Notion gardeners who can be like internal experts in how Notion works, but can also spend a little bit of time going around pruning documentation, removing things, adding bits in, tidying up stuff, and helping other people out and helping teach them how to use it well. So it's not exactly a new idea having people moderate communication platforms, but reframing that as a gardening job rather than as a police job or an architecture job, I certainly started to work for us, and I think might well work for you guys too.